Good evening, students, and welcome to the first lesson of the year 2021. Today, we'll be doing Units 15, Time and Numbers. So if you could please turn to the page 38 on Units number 15, Numbers and Time. So for this week, we'll be on Units number 15, Numbers and Time. For telling time, we'll be looking at two methods to tell time. But before we start, let's find some vocabularies or some words that you can say. When you're asking for time, the most common question we use is, what time is it? What is the time? Both of these means the same thing. You can try a more polite way if you are in a formal environment. With a polite way or a formal way, we say, could you tell me the time, please? So these two are telling you or asking for time. If you want to ask the time frame of something, the most common way to say is what time. So for example, what time does the flight to New York leave? Or you can say, what time, we have to use the word does, what time does the class start? What time do you say that again. What time does the class end? Okay. Another way you can say is when. So when we use when, we don't use the time. So when does the bus arrive? When does the concert begin? When does class start? When do you go home? Okay, so these are the most common way to ask for time or asking for when an event starts. So once again, what time is it? What is the time? Another formal way will be saying, could you tell me the time, please? When you're asking for an event, you'll be using this question. What time? What time does the flight to New York leave? What time does the class start? What time does the class end? When you use when, it'll be the same meaning as what time. When does the bus arrive from London? When does the concert begin? When does class start? When do you go home? Alright, now since we learned how to ask for time, we are going to be starting to tell time. When we tell time, if it's not a digital clock, if it's a analog clock, we'll be looking at the clock from this point. We'll be splitting it in half. So from 12 to 6, this is considered half, right? So from this side over here, we are going to be using past. From this side over here, we are going to be using to. So if you look at the time, you see right here, when we use this side of the clock, we are going to be saying the minutes first. The big hand, we count the big hands first. And then for the little hand, we are going to take the smaller number. So if this is between a 1 and a 2, we keep the smaller number. If this is between 2 and 3, we keep the bigger number. Since the small hand is around 2 and it's at 12, we'll be saying 2 o'clock. If we look at this one, see the small hand right here? It's between the 2 and the 3. So for every single one of these, this is 5 minutes, right? So we're just saying 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, since we're on this side of the clock, we're saying 5 past. And from right here, there's the number is the small hand is between the 2 and the 3. We'll be saying 5 past 2. Right here, if you look at it, see the small red hand right here? It's between the 2 and the 3. And we are still on this side of the clock. So from this side of the clock, we will be using past. So we count the minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The time is 10 because this is 10 minutes. Past, we take the smaller number 2. Now when you look at this, the small hand is still between the 2 and the 3. And if we look at the minute, there's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15. So right here, we're saying 15 minutes past 2. But right here, 15 minutes from here to here is a quarter. So we say a quarter past 2. Now let's look at this one. See, both of these hands is still from this side of the clock. So from this side, we are still going to be using the word past. So we count the minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20. So to tell time, we counted 20 minutes already. This is between 2 and 3. We keep the 2. 20 past 2. Right here, if we look at it again, remember, we're still on this side of the clock. We're not on the other side. Right here, we're still on this side of the clock. We'll still be using the word past from right here. So we count the minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 25 minutes past. We keep the smaller number, 2. Right here, if it's 30 minutes, we just say half past. Now, if you look at this, right, you see the big hand right here? The big hand right here is on this side of the clock now. So if the big hand is on this side of the clock, we are using 2. When you are using the word 2, whenever it's between these two numbers, we take the bigger one. If it's right here, we keep the smaller number. If it's on this side of the clock, we keep the bigger number. So remember, the minutes hand, which is the long one, is on this side of the clock. So we keep the bigger number with the smaller hand. So right here, we count this way now. Right here, if you look at it, see, it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, quarter, 20, 25, and half, right? So right here, if it's on the 7, we are counting this way. We are not counting this way, we're counting this way. So 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 25. 25, 2, and with the smaller hand, this is between the 2 and the 3. Since we're on this side of the clock, we're saying 25, 2, 3. Now with this one, you see, the big hand right here, it's on this side. So remember, we are going to be using the word 2. We counting from the top all the way to this one. So this is 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. 22, you look at the small hand, this is between 2 and 3, and we keep the bigger number. 22, 3. Right here, we're looking at it, the big hand is on this side of the clock again. So from this side of the clock, we are using 2. We count the minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10, 2. Right here, it's still between the 2 and the 3, right? And we take the bigger number, 10, 2, 3. Right here, it's the same method. We count the minutes because the big hand is on this side, and so we're taking the 2. We're counting from the top to right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 2. This is between the 3 and the 4, so this is 3. We keep the number, this bigger number, 5, 2, 3. With this one, this is just an easier method. Another method that we use typically with American English, we don't like to use the 2 or the past. For us, we just keep this method right here. We say the hour first and then the minutes. We don't keep the to, the past, or any of this. This is the easier one, right? So right here, if we tell time right here is we just say 2. If it's o'clock, we say 2 o'clock. Right? We say the hour first, 2, and then we count the minutes. 2:05. Right here, 2, we always keep the smaller number with American time. 2, and then we count the minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Continue with the next one. You see right here, we don't say quarter. We just keep the minutes. So we count 5, 10, 15. We just say 2:15. Right here, we say the hour first, 2, and then we count the minutes. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20. 2:20. Right here, the same. 2:25. 2:30. 2:35. 2:40. This is an easier method to tell time. We can skip all the past and all the to. This one is everybody is using this one, especially with American English. So once again, we just say the hour. See right here between the 2 and the 3, we take the smaller number and then we just count the minutes from the top all the way around. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. We're saying that it's 2:45. Right here, see, we still keep the smaller, we just keep the smaller hour. 2, and then we count the minutes. This is 2:50. Right here, this will be 2:55. This method is the easiest one. We don't like it. We don't really use the to this side, or we don't like to use this one, quarter, past. We don't like this. This is a little bit harder to tell time. The easiest method is just count the minutes and you just use it. Right here, see? 1:05. Right here with this time right here, we just count the minutes. 1 right here between 1 and the 2. So we say it's 1 and then we just count the minutes. 5 minutes, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 51, 52, 53. So we say it's 1:53. Any questions on this? Please let me know in class. So this is the easier method. You can skip the past and you can skip the to. For me, every single time I ask you, you'll be telling me the time. I want you to give me the hour and the minute. The past, from this, if the big hand is on this side, we use past. If the big hand is on this side, we use to. Do not use that. That one is too hard and too confusing to tell time. I just want you to give me the minutes and the hour. This is the easiest method for us. So continuing with the lesson, right? Right here, if you look at this, what time is this? Okay, so right here you see the small hand is on 12, right? Between 12 and 1. It's not on this side, it's on this side. So we're going to use this, see? This one is on this side, so we use past. 5 minutes, 15, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. For this one, if you say that if it's 12, right? Because the big hand is on this. And then we count this side because the big hand is on this. So we counted 15 minutes, right? So 15, right here, it's on this, past 12. This is, or you can just give me the hour, right? The hour right here, we just want the hour hand, 12. 12, and then 15. See which one is easier? This one is easier. So now let's look at this time. What time is it for this clock, right? So pause the video and try to answer this. I'll give you a few seconds before I tell you the time. Okay, so let's look at this, right? The big hand is between the 2 and the 3, right? So we know that it's the hour is between the 2 and 3. If we look at the big hand right here, see the big hand is on this side, right? So with this side, we are going to be using 2. We count the minutes from up here. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20, about 25, right? So it's 25, 2, right here is between the 2 and the 3. We just keep the bigger number. 25, 2, 3. See how this one is a little bit harder to explain? For us, we just want the easier one. The easier one is the hour, which is right here between 2 and 3. We're just saying that's 2, right? And then we just count the minutes. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 2, 35. This one, we skip the past and the 2. This one is easier. I don't need you to do this method at all. I just want you to do this method, right? So take some time and tell me the time for all of these. I'll give you a few minutes to tell time and write it down. And once you write it down, unpause the video and see if you have the same time as me. So once again, pause the video. Tell me the time for these hours and these minutes. And then once you have the answer, unpause the video and I will tell you the time to see if you are correct with me. Okay, so for number 3, right here is between the 4 and the 5. Remember, the hour hand, the minute hand is on this side, so we're counting this one. 5, 10, 15. 15. We're on this side of the clock right here. From this side right here, so we're using 2. 15. 15, 2. Right here between the 4 and the 5. The 5 is a bigger number. 15, 2, 5. Or you can say quarter to 5. If you do the easy one, the lazy method, you just give me the hour, right? So it's right here between the 4 and the 5. We take the smaller number. It's 4:45. See, so this one is easier. We just say it's 4:45. For this one, it's between the 11 and 12. It's right in the middle, so we can just say this one. Since it's on this side, we're just saying 30 past 11, right? Or we can just say half past 11. The lazy method, 11, right? 30. This one, small hand is on this side. We're saying past. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 25 past. Between the 1 and 2, we're taking the smaller number. 25 past 1. Lazy method, hour is 1. Minute, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. 1:25. The next one, the minutes is on this side. The long hand is on this side. So we're using past. 5, 10. 10 past This is between the 9 and the 10. 10 past 9. Lazy method, 9, 10. Next one, the big hand, it's on this side, so we're using 2, 5, 10, 10, 2. Right here, between the 7 and 8, we'll take the bigger number one, 10 to 8. Lazy method. The big hand is on right here. We take the smaller one, 7, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. 750. And the last one, right here, this minute hand is on this side, so we're using past. We count 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 25, past 7. Lazy method, 7, 25. Alright, so these will be 2 methods to saying it. This one, on this side, with using the past and the 2, it's too hard to tell time. It's not really good. Not a lot of people use this anymore. So for my class, just please tell me the hour and the minute. 12, 15. We just say 12, 15. We don't say 15 past 12. 2:35. We don't say, 35 to 3. Next one, 4:45. We don't say 15 to 5 or quarter to 5. We say 11:30. We don't say 30 past 11 or half past 11. Next one, 1:25. We don't say 25 past 1. This one is easier. For this one, we just say 9:10 instead of saying 10 past 9. For this one, we're saying 7:50 instead of saying 10 to 8. And the last one, we just say 7:25 instead of saying 25 past 7. So for telling time, please use this one. It's a lot more easier to understand. Continuing with the lesson. Now, whenever you do this, we have to use the AM and the PM. From 12 o'clock, midnight, all the way until noon, we consider this AM. From noon all the way until midnight, we consider this PM. So for us, since we're doing only 12 hours, we just tell you it's AM or PM. Is it the morning or is it the evening? See right here, this is the PM if it's at dark. If it's past midnight, and this side is morning, so we call this AM. Okay, so going back to our lesson, right? Whenever we tell time, it's easier for us to just give us the time and hour and a minute. Do not do this time, right? But this is easier since everyone is doing this. Practice this and this one, right? So for the homework, I want you to do 15.1. For 15.1, I want you to tell me both method, right? This method right here and this method right here. Remember, if your big hand is on this side of the clock, we're saying 2. If your big hand is on this side of the clock, we're saying past. So for the homework, please do 15.1. And for 15.2, when we are giving you a time about certain hours, right? We'll be saying that the store opens from, we're saying the hour that it opens, so 10:30 to 4, right? And when it's in the morning, we just say 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If we want to know the time, we just say from to time, okay? So when you can ask, what time does the store open, right? So we say the store opens from 10:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. What time does the store close? See, when we say we know the time right here, we say the store closes at 4 p.m. So for this method right here, I want you to do this homework too. You tell me, what time does Barry's place open? Once you tell me what time Barry's place open, you need to ask me and tell me what time Barry's place closes. So for the homework, I want you to do 15.1, tell me the time. Remember, I want you to give me the method for both of this, right? I want you to give me the hour, 12:15, and this method right here, 15 past 12. So this is for 15.1, and for 15.2, I want you to answer this question. The store is open from 10:30 a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. What time does the store open? The store open at 10:30 a.m. The store, what time does the shop close? The shop closes at 4 p.m. Alright, so I want you to do the method for both of this right here. If you have any questions, please ask me in class. Until then, this will be the end of the unit, and I will see you in the next lesson, and I will see you at the time where we have our class. Okay, until then, have a good evening. Remember to go watch the video and comment on it, alright? Until then, you have a good evening.